So, JJ, we have heard a lot about what Hartzell has been doing regarding some acquisitions. And of course, the propeller company is a story company. And you're relatively new in being kind of running that side of the operation as president of Hartzell Propeller. So, tell me about your tenure at the company.
Sure. So I started here at Hartzell almost 10 years ago now in December and came in as controller, started to get more involved in general management as some of our leadership team got involved in some acquisitions. So, in typical Hartzell fashion, there's always opportunities for folks to take on more. And so my role grew fairly quickly from just a finance and accounting role into more of a general management role. And then just about a year and a half ago, January of 2020, I took on the president's title here at Hartzell, right as we were in the midst of starting a pandemic a couple months later.
Just to really mix things up, huh?
Right, you bet.
Yeah, so Hartzell has been owned by the Brown family for 20 some years, 25 years, 30 years, maybe coming up on 30 years by now. It's been a while. So what's it like coming into a family-owned company like that and suddenly being the president of one of the most, I guess, probably the largest part of the company?
Well, it's been quite a joy, honestly. I came from Procter and Gamble. I was there for 10 years, so obviously a big public company with lots of different divisions and 100,000 plus employees, and coming into the Hartzell family companies here, headed up by Jim and Joe Brown. It's been quite a bit different and very, very enjoyable. It's been a great step for my career to come into a business where we can very nimbly and quickly get things done. We can get to consensus and make decisions. And really the key underlying it all has been trust in each other and trust that we're all in it for, the long haul. So, built on honor for us isn't just our external kind of slogan. It really is the sniff test that we hold up every day to say, hey, are we doing the right thing? And as long as we can, hand on heart agree on that, then generally we can move quickly and make decisions and keep moving forward.
Yeah. So speaking of moving quickly, Hartzell, the larger parent company, overall has been busy in the last few years acquiring a number of other companies and bringing them in together under sort of the Hartzell Engine Technologies brand, Skytech, Powerplane, Janitrol. These are all names that we have come to know in general aviation over the years. How does that relate to where you are in the company at the propeller side?
Yeah, we've just kind of started talking about this because, as you mentioned, Tom, Hartzell Engine Tech has done quite a bit of acquisition of brands and companies and really, really good products over the past several years. And we've just now this year started talking about it as the Hartzell family of companies and family of brands. And it certainly includes all of those great brands that Hartzell Engine Tech has brought under the umbrella. And, as a company, our strategy is to really go after those types of opportunities where we can bring really quality products under our leadership in the general aviation specific market. We have a lot of pilots across our different operating companies. We're really passionate about flying and, not just our products, but airplanes and flying in general. And so for us, we're focused on the GA market. We're focused on kind of firewall forward types of products. So engine accessories, propellers, obviously, and the de-ice systems and heated products that go along with it. So, we're in acquisition mode right now. We're looking for other opportunities across the family of companies: Hartzell Engine Technologies, Hartzell Propeller, AWI, which was one of our recent acquisitions up in Minnesota, and for us, we really hang our hat on three things. So quality, first and foremost; performance, we're really interested in products that make airplanes better; and then finally, service. We want to make sure we're looking after our products through the full life cycle. So not just that initial purchase, but also through the overhaul and repair and continued operation cycle. So for us, again, quality, performance, and service is really what we're hanging our hat on and what we're trying to do in terms of adding products to the portfolio.
Mm-hmm. Where are you in your general aviation experience?
Me personally,
yes.
I am not yet a pilot. I've had pictures and posters of airplanes on my walls since I started going to the Dayton Air Show when I was 6 years old, and I've not quite made it over the threshold yet. So my kids are getting a little bit older now. I hope to pop that pilot license a little higher on the priority list and get it done in the next few years. So that's where I'm at right now.
Okay, well, good. We need to get you behind one of those Hartzell propellers. Um,
Absolutely.
so it's an historic company, been building propellers back to, I guess, to the Wright brothers, right? There was a connection there between the founder and the Wright brothers. And, you know, it seems, though, that there was a long time when we didn't see a lot of changes around propellers, right? But in the last 15 years or so, it seems like we've seen a lot of advancements in aerodynamics, the kind of tips, the blade chords, all that sort of thing has changed a lot. What happened? Why all of a sudden do we see propellers looking so different than they did 20 and 30 years ago?
Well, I can tell you for sure that physics haven't changed, right? So I would say that first of all, that aerodynamics, is kind of a constant discipline, and physics don't change. But what I would say, if you rewind the clock all the way back over 100 years, you're right. Orville Wright was our first customer. We were making walnut wood propellers for the Dayton Wright Airplane Company. Fast forward, and that was 1917. Fast forward to World War II, we started getting into the aerospace grade aluminum alloys, and that really carried us forward to today. Even we're still using, high efficiency, or excuse me, aerospace grade aluminum for a lot of our blades. And then in the call it late 70s, we started dabbling in composites. And what we found, to your point, over the past 10, 15 years, we've seen the composite market really start to take over, because the technology is such that the materials now, carbon fiber, and high durability epoxy resins, those types of things, they can withstand the same types of loads and the same types of CF, and the same type of fatigue that metal blades can. And so we're able to continue to fine tune our designs to provide better performance. And so a couple of things I would say. One is we partner with the OEMs at the upstream level, when the project is just getting kicked off, so that we can understand with the airframe and the engine and the propeller, we can design specifically for the mission, whether that's, a takeoff and climb prop, or a high-speed cruise prop, or some blend of those types of performance metrics. We're designing specifically for the mission. And technology's gotten a lot better. You've got CFD and aerodynamic flow analysis available now with the airframers. You've got better engine data available, and how we capture every bit of horsepower we can and turn it into thrust through all phases of flight. So, while physics haven't changed, the tools to evaluate performance and ultimately the raw materials have gotten a bit better. And so we're excited about that, because we've always been big on innovation. It's really been our lifeblood, is developing the next better propeller for our customers, and making sure that we're meeting their mission and serving the market. And so, as we move to, continued product innovation, we're looking at not just the installed base and not just the new development programs that are going on with our current OEMs, but also those platforms that are just in their infancy, whether that's electric and hybrid types of power plants, or a vertical takeoff, or urban air mobility, all those things we're looking at right now.
Yeah. So different kinds of power plants require different strengths, that sort of thing. I know that, like, diesel engines, for example, with a different pulse, require a different strength than, say, a conventional horizontally opposed piston avgas burning engine. What are you finding when you're looking at electric propulsion? How is that different? What might the propellers look like on those kind of craft?
It's really interesting. The combination, in its basic form, an electric motor is very, very benign to a propeller, right? I mean, you're spinning at an RPM with virtually no pulses, no engine pulses at all. So, in one hand, it's very benign, and we can tailor something that's lightweight but still certifiable, because there's not a lot of engine pulses there. On the other hand, as a lot of these companies are looking at the vertical takeoff and transition to horizontal flight, that introduces a dynamic, that moment where you're transitioning from vertical to horizontal, creates a lot of challenges from a stress standpoint. So I would say, it's going to depend very much on the application and the mission profile and how that aircraft is getting airborne and transitioning into flight in terms of what we're looking at from a strength standpoint and in overall fatigue and endurance.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned composites earlier, and what percent more or less of product that you deliver today is composite versus aluminum?
Right. So if we look at new propellers going onto new airplanes, so the Cirrus and the Pilatus and the Pipers and the Dyer TBMs of the world, Air Tractor, we're probably, I'm going to ballpark 60-40 composite versus aluminum out the door. But if you combine the aftermarket, so our top prop portfolio for new props on existing airplanes, as well as the repair and overhaul world, we're still 70-30 metal blades versus composite. Mm-hmm. So what you're seeing on the new aircraft deliveries is a much heavier percentage going composite, latest and greatest technology with the benefits of lower weight and better performance. But you're still seeing a lot of aftermarket activity. The majority of the aftermarket activity in the install base is on the metal side.
Right. Can you envision a future particularly for new products, at least, where we're in an all composite world?
I would say the jury's probably out. I would never say never, but from a material property standpoint, if you think of the ag guys, Air Tractor and Thrush, for example, a metal prop is really right now the best prop for that mission because, unfortunately, when they have some issues with wires and that sort of thing from time to time, a metal prop, that metal prop's going to hold up a bit better than a carbon fiber prop would in that situation. So, there's certain applications that are better tuned to a metal prop. So I would say, the aerospace aluminum is always, at least as far as I can see, is going to have a place in the market going forward.
Yeah. A minute ago, you mentioned your top prop program, which is aftermarket props for like my Bonanza. I've got a Bonanza with 3-blade aluminum propeller on it.
Right.
What can I expect if I've got a pretty conventional rounded tip metal prop on that airplane? What can I expect? Where do I invest in a more modern propeller with a different shape to it?
Right. So, our top prop portfolio is over 20 years old now. And 20 years ago, we were going exactly with what you just mentioned, the metal props with the rounded paddle style blades. And so what we've transitioned to in many cases is two newer options. So you've got what we call, the scimitar swept tip metal blade option, which will be a little better on noise. And as we swept the tips, we also were able to provide some performance with the cord and the twist. So you'll get better performance on a new scimitar metal prop. And then we're also, like I said, in many cases, like on your Bonanza, for example, we now have a composite option. We just STC'd a 3-blade composite onto the Bonanza. It's called the Navigator, and it's actually, call it 20 pounds lighter weight. So some Bonanzas like that, some don't. It's about 5 to 7 knots faster than any of the aluminum props that we've put on there because we've, again, fine-tuned it specifically for the Bonanza. And of course, it's a bit more expensive, but you have blades that are now certified for unlimited life. And so, the big benefit of composite is that when you go through the overhaul process, you're actually adding material back onto the blade and restoring that blade to factory new dimensions. Whereas on a metal blade, you're grinding away material and you're going to lose efficiency and you're going to lose dimension over time, which will cause the blade to go scrap through, 3 overhauls or so. So, so you've got the trade-offs there of weight and ramp appeal and better performance when you look at metal versus composite. And then again, going back to the paddle style blades, tried and true quality products. But you've got the more modern designs that do provide a bit better performance as well.
Right. So the new prop that you introduced for the Cessna 185 is all a buzz in the backcountry world.
Right.
So do you see being able to address markets with a particular propeller type something that you're going to try to do more of in the future?
Absolutely. And in fact, through the pandemic, the past, call it really 18 months now, 14, 16, 18 months, we have continued to invest. So the big headline for us is that in a time where, there was a lot of dark days last year, especially April, May, early June, we didn't know where the industry was going. And, we were talking with customers and listening to them cancel orders and postpone and push things out. We continue to invest in our top prop portfolio and the STCs that we're bringing to market. So in that, call it 16, 18-month period, we've been able to launch this Voyager prop into the backcountry for really now it's certified through the whole fleet of 180, 182, 185, and 206 airplanes that are flying with a 520 or 550 engine, or the 470-50 engine. So that product, like you said, has really taken off in the backcountry. It's a metal swept tip scimitar prop, and it is just a great performer across the board. So we've done that with our RAF friends in the backcountry community. We launched, as I mentioned, the Navigator on the Bonanza. It's a 3-blade composite. We launched a 4-blade composite prop onto the SR-22 and 22T about a year ago now. We're excited about that. It's an option from the factory at Cirrus, as well as an aftermarket top prop option for the whole fleet of 22s and 22Ts. And then we've been working with our aerobatic friends in that community, and we just launched the Talon, which is a 3-way carbon fiber prop for the extra 300, 330. So it's STC'd onto the TC'd extra fleet, and it's been also available in the experimental extra world for a while. So that has really been our product progression, and as you mentioned, really working with and listening to those pilot communities of whether they be backcountry or the Cirrus guys or the aerobatic guys, and really making sure we're listening and bringing products that they're asking for and wanting.
Okay, JJ. Well, you guys have clearly been busy, so thanks for all your hard work to make our general aviation experience even better, and great to hear all the updates that you've been working on.
Yeah, I appreciate it. We're looking forward to Oshkosh. We've got more product news coming. We've got some exciting things planned for the back half of this year, and for us, it's going to be great to get out and see friends and see folks in the industry that we haven't seen for quite some time. So really looking forward to AirVenture here in about a month, and hope to catch up with you.
Okay, we'll see you there, JJ. Take care.
All right, thanks.